Well, we know the midterms are over with now, and what we thought is really what they're quantifying has happened. So they said that there was a low black voter turnout for the midterms, which we already knew that was going to happen because they're not offering nothing to black people. They're not offering us a thing. More and more black people are getting on the mantra, no tangibles, no vote. What is the point of going out and voting for these people when they're not giving us anything? Now, they say a record number of black Democrats ran for Senate in battleground states during the 2022 midterms, but many of them failed to energize black American voters. They say that one of the most important stories in American politics is the Democratic Party's increasing reliance on white voters as they lose ground with non-white voters. So the Democrats now are trying to pivot to white folk, which is not going to work because white people's votes are split. More white people are conservative, Republican. That's what they are, because it makes sense, because they want to conserve white supremacy. And so it makes plenty of sense. But they're trying to pivot to white people and thinking that they can go offer white people the things that they try to offer black people. And with white people, you got to give them something. You actually have to give them something that they, want. Now, if they come and start trying to give white people something, then black people could turn around very easily and say, okay, well, look, you had no problem promising white voters something. Why are you not promising nothing to black people? See, that benign neglect not going to work with white voters. They said that the evidence, it says, so far raises the distinct possibility that the black share of the electorate sank to its lowest levels since 2006. They say it certainly did in states like Georgia and North Carolina, where authoritative data is already available. They say that it could be seen as a reversion, they say, to black turnout before the Obama era, but warns that it's consistent with a pattern of non-white voters trending a bit more to the Republican Party since 2018. So black people not showing up for the Democrats. And that was quantified, which that was the point. Black folks, what they're saying now is this: we're not showing up to vote for you for nothing. This is why you're hearing more and more states talking about reparations, because the strategy of going to white voters is not going to work. It's not going to work because a lot of white voters don't really want what the Democrats are offering. So they're going to have to pivot back to black people. See, they tried that strategy. Oh, well, let's see if we can give something to the Asians, and the Asians didn't show up to vote for you. Oh, let's try to do something for the immigrants, people definitely south of the border. They didn't show up to vote for you either, and half of them vote conservative. So once again, it goes right back to black folk. So we are actually in a perfect position, black folk, right now. All we have to do is just hold the line, hold our peace with the whole situation. Just hold it all. And say, if you want to get these black votes back, then we need our reparations. We need tangibles. Oh, we can just sit it out. We ain't gotta vote for none of you. We good. We are good. And as I stated, every 2 years, they're losing their voters because their voters, that especially that older crowd, they really depend on, that civil rights generation, they really depend on. A lot of them are passing away every 2 years. And they're going to have to deal with us. And that's what they don't like. That's why they're trying to pivot and trying to do everything they're doing. And they keep running into a brick wall. Because once again, the white voter is not going to vote for no Democrat like that. Now continuing, they say Mandela Barnes, Wisconsin's progressive lieutenant governor, was one of the biggest Democratic underperformers in Senate races. They say he came up 26,718 votes short, a margin that nearly matched the Democratic drop-off in the city of Milwaukee compared to 2018. They said, by contrast, turnout in largely white and progressive Dane County, they said Madison, increased by only 7,000 votes from 2018 to 2022. They say Barnes was the only Democratic Senate candidate to lose a state that Biden carried in the previous election. They said even as black turnout sagged in Georgia for the November election, it said black voters actually showed up in larger numbers in early voting, it say in the Georgia Senate runoff. Well, you know, the tactic still works to a point. It still works to scare black people to vote. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's just amazing how black people can be scared. I never can relate to that. You can scare me into vote. Oh my God, Herschel Walker get in there. And he go like, you scared of Herschel Walker? That's the guy you afraid of? Seriously? Okay. He's like the last person I'll be afraid of. But it's crazy how it works. It works for a lot. Like black people are so scary. A lot of them on a good day are scary, and I know this. They still like I say. Let me tell you something, Democrats. That playbook of scaring black folks, telling black people it's an urgency, telling black people you got to save democracy. Every 2 years, that particular strategy is losing its sting. Like we said before, this is a marathon. This is not a sprint. We know that it's going to take some election cycles for this message to kick in. But like I said, we are in the long haul. We're in the long haul. We know. Because even some of those same people that you scared to vote, the ones you scared in 2020, it didn't work for them in 2022. And they've got some in 2022 where it worked on them. I guarantee it won't work on them in 2024 because all we have to do is keep presenting the facts. All we have to do is keep looking at the conditions of black folk in America and tell you no tangibles, no vote, because look at what's happening. You got all these billions of dollars for Ukraine, but you don't got no money for black Americans to pay reparations. Oh, no, sir, and no, ma'am. You got to break bread. You got to start cutting some checks over here. That's what you got to do. Oh, we're not going to waste our gas or waste our time. We could all walk around and popularize the term no tangibles, no vote. It don't matter what Boulay Martin and the rest of his ilk say. No tangibles, no vote. Black people deserve something just like you just giving it. You give stuff to everybody else. Black people need an anti-black hate crime bill. That's a tangible that we need. Black people need reparations. Black people need a new housing bill too, because black people still being discriminated against in the area of housing. They should remove that or telling you can't rent to somebody or somebody because of a felony. When they throw felonies on black people like it ain't nothing. How a black person gonna get a place to stay? You understand? Black people are tired. Black people are frustrated, and rightfully so. This is why they starting to talk more and more about reparations, as I said earlier. It's because they know reparations is about the only thing that will get black people back on board. Well, you know what, black folks? Don't let them just talk about reparations to get you back on board. Let them checks hit your bank account. That's what you need. You need the check to hit your bank account. You need reparations to pass, and you need that so you can start doing things for your family. All these other black people running around here talking about reparations. Oh, well, reparations shouldn't go to this one. Reparations shouldn't go to that one. Umar telling about black people's mental health and black people's just where you going to spend the money. It don't matter about all that. You notice that when it comes to black people getting reparations, everybody got something to say on qualifications. When the Japanese got their money, no Japanese person say, well, I don't think no person with the mental health issues as Japanese should get anything. You notice that? Nobody said it with the Ukraine people. They giving them money. They didn't say, oh, well, it shouldn't go to anybody that has mental health issues. When the Jewish people got money in this country because of the Holocaust, they didn't say that same thing. Nobody says that. Every time it's something for black folks, Negroes got to come up and say something. Just shut your mouth and get your check. What's so hard about that? Some people, like I said, they run off at the mouth so much they don't know what the hell they talking about. One breath you're talking about you support reparations, but the next breath you're trying to kind of undermine it in some things that you're saying. knowing that them folks listening to you and gonna try to use your talking point to try to undermine black folk. If that's the case, if you say, okay, we'll give reparations, but it can't be the mentally ill people, then what white folks do is say all Negroes are mentally ill, so they ain't got to pay nothing. You don't give them an out to just to not do something for black folk. What kind of crap is that? But Umar is a different conversation. Some things Umar says I agree with wholeheartedly. I support, some things he says 2,000%. When it comes to the schools, or the way they treat black children, certain things with white supremacy. Yeah, I support a whole lot of things that Umar say with that. But just a couple other things he talks about, it just doesn't make sense to me. But, we're not going to all agree on everything, and I'm not here to dump on him, at least not today on that issue. Because, even though he doesn't really like me too much, and that's fine, I have no issue with that. He just don't like me because I have some different opinions that he has. But for the most part, we got to be supporting reparations, period. And we can't have nobody out here talking against it. Not somebody with a voice. No. We got to push back on that every single time. Black people are checking out the process. And that is good that they're checking out the process until we get what we need as a people. Well, thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us on the podcast. Greatly appreciate it. Make sure you click the subscribe button there where you subscribe to our podcast. Make sure that you click the like button. And those of you who listen on other platforms, we definitely appreciate you joining us on our podcast. And we'll see you on the next one.